Schools across the nation have been hit with a wave of violent school threats. About 70% in our study of more than 800 threats involve shooting and/or bomb threats. More than 30% of the schools evacuated. About 10% actually shut down for at least one school day. And we know that these threats are disrupting school communities and creating a great deal of anxiety among students, parents, staff, and the entire school community. We need to make sure that our schools are assessing threats and then reacting, not reacting and then assessing. Schools can best address threats by having threat assessment teams, threat assessment training, and threat assessment protocols in partnership with their law enforcement and other first responders so that they're ready to hit the ground when these threats hit their school community. We need to be prepared ahead of time as to how we're going to tackle these threats, work through some hypothetical tabletop exercises and scenarios before we ever experience these threats in our school communities. Today's threats are coming from multiple sources. We have oftentimes threats that are come from students and former students and those with local ties in the community that receives the threat. But we also have a phenomenon known as swatting, where the threats can come from across state and even international borders, and the FBI can end up at your schoolhouse door as a law enforcement partner investigating these wide-ranging type of threats. And of course, we need to treat seriously the whole terrorism threat and things associated with that, as well as day-to-day threats from non-custodial parents to students who make some very bad choices. We encourage you to visit our website at schoolsecurity.org to look at the 2015 School Threat Assessment Study. It has some fascinating data that can help you focus your plans. We encourage you not only to have school emergency plans and threat assessment plans, but also school crisis communications plans so that you're prepared to communicate with students, staff, and parents and the media when one of these incidents occurs in your community. Our website, schoolsecurity.org, has information on those school crisis communications best practices as well. Keep your students safe, have threat assessment protocols, crisis communications plans, and we can avoid putting children in unsafe situations and less safe situations by overreacting and instead making good threat assessment decisions on the front end when they strike our school communities.